Hey, Michael Church, Crawl Space Ninja, and we are here with Brock. And today we're going to cover error code number 7, float switch open. Tell us about that one, Brock, and how to fix it.
2 reasons, maybe 3, but likely the first 2 reasons of why you're going to get this code. The first one is going to be when you install the dehumidifier, it's going to come with a jumper wire that is connected on the unit interface connecting the 2 float switch terminals. Now, the reason this is in here is to complete that circuit. So if you don't have that in there, it's going to think that something's wrong and it's going to throw that code. The other reason you're going to trip this code is that potentially your condensate pump has actually failed. So that means that the pump saying that it needs to trigger to drain that condensate pump,
right,
but it's not. So the first thing you can do is just go make sure that your condensate pump is working correctly. Sometimes a little bobber on a float switch will get stuck. The other reason that could happen is that the 2 wires that are coming from the condensate pump and then going onto the unit could have just come undone. So that's going to be another reason that could happen. If you have the jumper wire connected, or you have the wires coming from the condensate pump connected correctly to that internal user interface and the pump is functioning properly, that would mean that the user interface is faulty. So you would just need to switch out that user interface like we've done in a few of the other codes.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but that code would only appear if someone wired the condensate pump to the dehumidifier in order for the dehumidifier to turn off if the condensate pump failed. Is that correct?
Correct. So if the wires from the condensate pump are connected to the dehumidifier and you're getting that code, that means that either your pump has failed or that something's blocking that bobber and it's not turning on. So it's doing that, and I always recommend that you connect that condensate pump to the dehumidifier, because if not, that dehumidifier is going to continue to run and you could end up either flooding. In my case, I have one in my attic with a drain pan, could flood that. I do have a water sensor, a leak detector to tell me that, but if it's in a crawl space, you could end up with a bad situation where you're flooding that out. So making sure that condensate pump is connected to the dehu is going to keep you safe, because it's going to shut down that unit immediately and not allow it to be putting more water or moisture into that crawl space.
If you do that though, make sure you have a humidity sensor or some kind of meter down there like the ShipShape product to let you know that the dehumidifier is shut off, because you don't want the dehumidifier shutting off a year later. You didn't know it was shut off, and then you go down there and have a huge mold problem because the dehumidifier shut off because the condensate pump stopped working.
Yeah, so that's a great point. So either having it hooked up to a ShipShape monitor like you mentioned, which I have in my home, which has a water leak detector. So even if the unit didn't shut off, but I'm somehow getting a leak, maybe the tube came out of the condensate pump and I'm shooting water everywhere, it's going to indicate that as well. But that also really is a reason I like every unit, especially in a crawl space or an attic where it's out of sight, to have either a Model 76 or an S86 attached, because it's going to let you know that that unit isn't running.
Very good. Well, thank you, Brock. Appreciate that. I'm Michael Church from Crawl Space Ninja, here with Brock from Aprilaire. We hope you make it a happy and blessed day, and we'll see you later.